This is TWiT. What would you do? I'm going to ask all three of you. If you were going to run for president in 2020, or dog catcher, but let's use president because it's a nice big national scale. What tools would you use? What would you do to? Let me ask you, Jeff. What would you do to be?
I want to hear Stacy first.
Okay, Stacy starts.
Okay, the least social among us.
Yeah, because you're not even on Facebook.
I'll vote
Did you
for
say
you,
you're not on
Stacey.
Facebook?
I am on Facebook. I just don't.
You don't
visit
participate
it ever. Yeah. My last post was like 3 months ago. So I would probably create in my persona, much like I did with my media stuff, accounts at all the major social media platforms. I don't know. This like presupposes a big strategy. So I'm like, oh man.
Well, I'm just saying, you know, maybe you could say in Nixon's era, you would have a media buy, you would do debates, you would get bumper stickers and posters, and maybe
years later you'd start direct mail.
Direct mail. But nowadays, I think it's the landscape. Jeff, isn't the landscape hugely different? Yeah,
and I think God help me for saying what I'm about to say, but I think there's a lesson to be learned from Donald Trump, and it's this.
No, not God help you. It's clear. I mean, he was very effective at doing it. And so it wasn't my candidate Hillary Clinton tried to turn it into a machine. Trump was a human being of sorts himself. That's it. He used that. He was
so the
master
question is,
of
could
media,
someone,
right? Wasn't he?
Could someone who is no, not really, but could someone who is and I'm not saying myself here, but intelligent, well-meaning, reasoned, informed, use social media to come off that way, to gain trust, to gain respect, to show people that they're transparent. So the question is how you use it. It's not the tool. So, I mean, every campaign has been using Twitter and Facebook and so on, but they've been using it in manipulative ways. What Trump did was he just got around all of that and around media and just said, I'm going to say whatever the heck I want to say.
People loved it.
People are going to rally behind that.
People loved it. They still do.
No, well, you know, this is some of the stuff that we've been studying is that there's this idea of mimetic warfare. And that the Trump memes and you know, the story isn't here, the Hillary memes. The meme story here is the battle between Trump and Bernie Sanders. And yes. Bernie had quite a meme factory running on Facebook full of dedicated people that were making memes every day.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Different groups of people. All of the memes that you've seen related to Bernie and the bird falling on him and all of these things are coordinated within Facebook groups. A lot of times they'll start working on a meme. They'll get a picture and they'll start working on a theme together. And then the meme will develop in conversation. And then they will then after workshopping it, they'll take it and they'll move it to other spaces like onto Reddit. For instance, there was a lot of strategic meme drops within the Donald Reddit. And then from that community, then people are then asked to go spread it out onto Twitter and onto Facebook for broadcast. And so there's quite a few ways that this would happen. And my fear with the use of technology, but it's coming and I'm not the one that came up with this strategy, is essentially you can either pay a super PAC to do sophisticated marketing for the candidate that you like, or you can pay Facebook $10 and circulate the meme that you made. And you can select the ad targeted buckets of people. And what we know is that memes aren't just meant to get people to like something. They can also be used in an offensive manner. That is to trigger other communities of people into disliking something or to get distracted or upset about the wrong thing.
Do you think there are wizards at this who are carefully plotting this, or it was kind of accidental?
I think it's throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping something is cooked.
But don't you think
it's so cheap to make spaghetti and throw it at the wall now?
Yeah, well, for the next couple of years, there's people who, it's cheap to throw spaghetti, but there's also people who are looking very carefully right now what spaghetti stuck and refining it, I would presume.
Yes, no,
it may not be Cambridge Analytica. That seems to, they had a meme of their own.
Well, that's interesting. So Joan and I were still at a conference where everyone I think virtually everyone in the room, right, Joan, just poo-poos that Cambridge Analytica did anything of note. What's your take on that, Joan?
It's hard to tell, right? Because we're not going to know. I mean, the idea that you could use psychometrics and nudge people, I would say that the only way that you're going to guarantee that they saw the content that you were using to nudge is using ad tech at this point. And we know that Donald Trump was circulating on peak days 150,000 pieces of creative. And so that's quite a few messages online per day. And so when people have the conversation about honest ads and what does it mean to monitor political campaigns, I start to wonder at the scope of things. You know, this is how many people do you need to monitor one person's campaign?
Well, if you were to compare Hillary Clinton's campaign and Donald Trump's campaign, Hillary was a little bit more old school, was big television media buys, and Trump channeled a smaller amount of money into this new media stuff, and it was very, very, very effective. Also, perhaps because candidate Trump was made for that medium in a way that Hillary Clinton was not.
But you can't discount the kind of fandom that goes on online. Fandom is an important aspect of how people participate in online cultures.
Huge.
And so
fandom was how Bernie got from zero to contender, right?
Exactly. So one of the things that we have to be careful of is, of course, we don't want to hand over and say, oh, they're master puppeteers. Look, their strategy worked.
I'm not sure that's
But we also have to understand that he had a Trump had a digital marketing strategy, and Hillary had movement people. And when you have movement people and you have political strategists, they're thinking in a very coordinated way, but they're thinking about, votes in the street and people on the ground. And then they have a digital strategy that reflects the agenda of the party. But you can imagine when you go back and look at all of the things that were circulated that were pro-Trump, and I don't even want to say pro-Republican, because he was definitely running a side bet.
It's become clear he's his own party now,
He was speaking in multiple registers, and there were so many different groups that were motivated to create content on his behalf, right? This is stuff that's not paid.
He's the first meme president.
I would say, I would say so.